Hi Aquarius, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of November. So much happening and I want to tackle it all as best as I can. But I want to say for you that this is the new age of Aquarius, so you are the headline act this year. And Jupiter will only be in your sign a little while longer. At the end of last year, Saturn and Jupiter both met up on the winter solstice at 0 degrees of Aquarius and ushered in the new age of Aquarius. And Jupiter briefly left your sign and entered the early degrees of Pisces from May 13th until July 29th, and then it re-entered Aquarius. It's stationed direct in October. We actually had 4 planets stationed direct, which is actually very helpful for all of us because the more planets are direct, that at least gives forward momentum. When they're all retrograde, it makes it more difficult to move forward. And pardon me, Jupiter stationed on October 18th at 22 degrees and 20 minutes of your sign. Again, it will be in your sign until December 29th. So for about 2 more months when I'm filming this now. And it opens doors. Try to really focus on what you want to magnetize in your life. You get Jupiter every 12 years. Saturn is how you anchor your goals. You have that until spring of 2023. And in eclipse season, which we are now, there is a lot of change. It's a heightened sense of activity. Eclipses are like wild cards. They remind me of your modern ruler, which is Uranus, because they can be very unpredictable. You know something's going to happen. You don't know exactly how it's going to play out. And they are, Uranus is the great awakener of the zodiac that rules your sign, but also eclipses make us see things in a whole other way and make us really wake up as well. So very similar in that sense, but also can raise our anxiety and add a heightened sense of pressure. And you can get big news during eclipse seasons. So Mars entered the fixed water sign of Scorpio at the end of October, on October 30th, and it will be there until December 13th in your house of career and life goals. This is a new 2-year cycle of focusing on what you want to accomplish and achieve. The eclipses are now going to be in the Taurus Scorpio axis, underscoring the fact that this is a really big time in your life. The house of career and life goals, and also the house of home and family, will be ignited by the eclipses in Taurus and Scorpio. But we're not yet done with the eclipses in Sagittarius and Gemini. So you are in a very, very big time in your life. So really seize this to make the most of it. And on November 2nd, Mercury squares Pluto at 5:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can bring power struggles for you. There could be issues at work. It's great for doing research, but people can be combative. On November 4th, there is a new moon that takes place at 5:15 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 12 degrees and 40 minutes of the fixed water sign of Scorpio. A lot of fixed energy. Saturn's in your sign. Uranus is in Taurus. Planets in Scorpio. But this is good for tenacious commitment to what you want to accomplish. Do the law of abundance and really focus on what your professional goals are. And later that day, the sun opposes Uranus at 7:58 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring unexpected events at work or at home, but it also can be enlightening and definitely an eventful new moon. And on November 5th, Venus is going to enter the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn at 6:44 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of dreams and imagination. And it's going to be there until March 6th of 2022. It's going to retrograde on December 19th at 26 degrees and 29 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. And this sets off where Pluto retrograded in April of this year, and also where Saturn was on and off from March 4th until November 4th of 2020. and Venus will station direct in Aquarius season on January 9th at 11 degrees and 4 minutes of Capricorn. And this sets off where Saturn was at the very end of December of 18 into early January of 2019. This gives you an opportunity to reassess your spiritual healing, your creativity, your dreams, and what you love and what you want to manifest within your dreams, and how you can take action. Capricorn is a very goal and action-oriented sign, how you can take the steps to achieve that. And so that's a big deal with Venus and Capricorn for a few months, and especially because the Saturn and Capricorn story was a huge one as well. You're in the news too, but Capricorn, that was a huge deal when Saturn and Pluto met up last January of 2020 in Capricorn at the world point and changed the world forever. All right, so Mercury also changes signs on November 5th at 6:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and enters Scorpio, where it will be until November 24th, lighting up more communication in your career, a lot of networking and negotiations and sales. On November 6th, Mercury forms a helpful sextile to Venus at 11:59 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's good for professional opportunities and good for socializing and connecting with others. On November 10th, Venus forms a helpful sextile to Mars at 7:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could be very creative energy for you professionally, but on that date, Mercury squares Saturn, and Saturn's in your sign. That could bring delays or challenges in communication. And then later that day, Mars squares Saturn at 6:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can be very frustrating. People could get angry, or just could be a temporary impasse. Try to focus on something that needs a lot of attention and time. On November 12th, the Sun trines Neptune at 11:24 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can be good for tapping into creative opportunities, and definitely good for you for for career opportunities as well. And then on November 13th, Mercury opposes Uranus in the sky at 10:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could bring unexpected news at work for you. That could bring big changes at the workplace. When eclipses happen, things like, people leaving unexpectedly at your company, or, friends going through big life changes, things like that we can all expect. But it could be something at the workplace with that, or with family, because Uranus is transiting in your house of home and family. So there could be some unexpected news. Could also be very good energy for brainstorming with Mercury Uranus in effect. On November 15th, Venus squares Chiron, the wounded healer, at 3:07 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's good for doing healing work through meditation and manifesting for you. Later that day, the Sun squares Jupiter at 2:58 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That can be excessive, but it also can be optimistic energy. On November 16th, the Sun forms a helpful sextile to Pluto at 4:01 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's good for you for working with up-leveling your professional opportunities and feeling confident in your career. You're in a big career cycle this month. And then on November 17th, there's more, I'd say, challenging energy, because Mars opposes Uranus at 12:23 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could be combative at home or at the workplace, and people will be very reactive, and they can be accident prone. You can only control yourself, so just be wary, be extra wary on the road if you're traveling or driving, and just with people, knowing that they might be impulsive, just get heated up really quickly and easily. And we are also getting close to the lunar eclipse on November 19th, which is like a full moon on steroids, and very heavy and pronounced emotional, feelings, emotions. And we are in Scorpio season, which is definitely heavy emotions. So knowing that on the 17th, we're charged up, and Mars is one of the rulers of Scorpio season. So, again, heated energy. But on the 18th, which is the day before the eclipse, Mercury forms a beautiful trine to Neptune at 10:38 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's good for manifesting the dream, and for you for great opportunities professionally and creatively and financially. And then later that day at 10:08 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on November 19th at 1:08 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Venus forms a beautiful trine to Uranus. And that is very innovative, creative, and inventive energy. And that could be excellent for you for tapping into building something new through your imagination. And the lunar eclipse occurs at 3:57 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 27 degrees and 14 minutes of the fixed earth sign of Taurus in your house of home, family, and emotional foundation. It's going to be a heavy full moon because it's a very significant house. And obviously, we've all been in a crazy time in history. There's been a lot of loss in so many ways. And you're having it in the house of home and family, and just recognizing all that you need to release. It's a very painful time, but also, focusing on what matters, because this is it's a huge time in your life with Saturn and Jupiter bringing new opportunities to build and invent a whole new you. And none of us has a choice, and yet we all want to heal through community, and you are the sign of community. That's going to be an intense full moon for you, and it's setting off, it's within a degree of a fixed star known as Algol, which is a difficult fixed star. It's associated with losing one's head, metaphorically or literally. You don't want to lose your head, and I mean more emotionally. And on the following day, on November 20th, Mercury squares Jupiter at 6:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That could be a lot of communication for you professionally. Realistically, it's right after the eclipse, so we're processing so much information and emotions, and expands that as well. On November 21st, Mercury forms a helpful sextile to Pluto at 4:14 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's really good for you for up-leveling your communication through work and through positive manifesting and thinking. And let's see, the Sun enters Sagittarius at 9:34 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will be until December 21st, transiting in your house of friends and groups and networking. So that brings fun to your social life. You're already a very social sign. You are the sign of friends. And then on November 24th, Mercury enters Sagittarius at 10:36 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time in your house of networking and friends. If you're looking for a job, excellent for networking opportunities. And you've got Jupiter opening a lot of doors in your sign just a little while longer, but this adds more networking possibilities. And on November 25th in the United States, it's Thanksgiving, and the moon will be in the sign of Leo, which is your opposite sign, in your house of partnerships and relationships. Generally a fun placement of the moon, but it opposes Saturn in your sign. That could be difficult. It squares Uranus and Taurus in your house of home and family, and it squares Mars and Scorpio, which can be combative. We're all going through collective pain, and we're healing together, and it's really hard. So recognizing that. And the following day, on the 26th of November, Saturn forms a helpful aspect to Chiron, the wounded healer. Saturn is transiting in your sign, and this could be helpful for doing structuring through healing and just being aware again what we're all experiencing. On November 28th, The sun meets up with Mercury at 11:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Really good for you for planning ideas, pitching ideas, and writing professionally. On November 29th, Mars trines Neptune at 9:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Really good energy for manifesting your professional and financial opportunities and taking action through your intuition. Mercury trines Chiron, the wounded healer, at 9:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. That's really nice energy. And then Mercury forms a very helpful aspect to Saturn, which helps to structure what you're trying to accomplish. And Saturn is in your sign, and that occurs at 11:19 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on November 30th at 2:19 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Really nice energy. We're feeling Neptune's station because it stations direct on December 1st at 20 degrees and 24 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces in your house of income and what you value and how you can be creative. And we feel that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. It can feel very hazy, and we are in eclipse season, yet it's also a time where it lifts the fog, and now we have another outer planet direct, and that's a good thing. And on the 30th of November, Venus forms a beautiful sextile to Neptune, and that's very romantic and creative energy, and that occurs at 3:46 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. There is a total solar eclipse on December 4th. We're feeling that build up too. That will be at 12 degrees of Sagittarius in your house of friends and groups, bringing new beginnings. If you want to meet people, this is a great time with Jupiter, just a little while longer. This new moon eclipse in December in your house of friends and groups and networking. I wish you a lot of luck, and thank you very much, Aquarius. Take care.